I admit I may not have spent as much time in a courtroom as you have. I was also recognized with a Special Achievement Award by the Department of Justice. You remember the Department of Justice, right? It's the agency that's been pursuing you for decades. And like Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, I've had a history of prosecuting sex offenders. So thank you for keeping people like us in business. And as for dumb questions, you're always welcome to come here and answer some, if sitting so close to a prosecutor won't make you nervous.
Bill Maher is taking aim at The View's Sunny Hostin after her latest attack on Donald Trump, and the clash is only escalating. In a surprising twist, Maher, long known for criticizing Trump, is now calling out Hostin for what he sees as an excessive smear campaign. His remarks have shocked many, leaving people wondering, has Maher had a change of heart? Or is this just his signature unfiltered honesty? For over a year, Hostin and her co-hosts have relentlessly criticized Trump, mocking his character and policies. But Trump, never one to hold back, recently fired back at a Pennsylvania rally. Now, with Maher stepping in, the drama is reaching new heights. Will this war of words continue, or is a bigger conversation unfolding? Stay tuned.
I think the other one asking the question is dumber than Kamala, so she's a dummy. I watched her over the years. That is one dumb woman. Sorry. I'm sorry, women. She's a dummy.
Trump has never been one to hold back. When he felt Sunny Hostin's criticisms were unfair, he fired back, calling her a dummy. If you've been tuning into The View, you know Hostin has made dissecting legal matters her specialty, so much so that you'd almost expect her to start the show with a correction segment. Was Trump's remark an insult? Maybe. Or perhaps it was just an observation, considering her occasional on-air slip-ups. But here's the thing. When you take on Trump, you'd better be ready for a fight. He never lets an attack go unanswered, and this feud was no exception. Hostin, refusing to back down, hit right back. She doubled down on her criticism, highlighting Trump's legal troubles and questioning his political future. The battle rages on, with no end in sight.
You remember the Department of Justice, right? It's the agency that's been pursuing you for decades. And like Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, I've had a history of prosecuting sex offenders. So thank you for keeping people like us in business. And as for dumb questions, you're always welcome to come here and answer some, if sitting so close to a prosecutor won't make you nervous. I'll even give you a free View mug, not to be confused though with the mugshot, because that's your area.
You remember the Department of Justice, don't you? The agency that's been keeping tabs on you for decades? They sure seem to have a special interest in you, and for obvious reasons. And just like Vice President Kamala Harris, I have a background in prosecuting sex offenders. So, in a way, I guess we should thank you for keeping people like us busy. After all, without high-profile cases like yours, what would we do with all our legal expertise? Now, if you ever feel like clearing the air, you're always welcome to stop by and answer a few questions. Though I understand if sitting this close to a prosecutor makes you a little uneasy. But don't worry, we'll make you feel right at home. In fact, I'll even throw in a View mug as a little keepsake.
First, I asked her why she had sex with Trump, listen to that, and then listen to what she says after that, because it's quite at variance of what she said to me in 2018. Why did you Donald Trump?
I have no idea.
But you say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or worse, or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim.
That's not what she's saying now. She's talking about he was bigger and blocking the way. It's all the Me Too buzzwords. She said there was a power imbalance of power, for sure. My hands were shaking so hard. She said she blacked out. Blacked out?
You have to give credit where it's due. Sunny Hostin delivered her scathing remarks with a level of calm, calculated precision that could teach a mob boss a thing or two. She wasn't just speaking, she was orchestrating a strategic assault, tossing out verbal grenades with an impassive face and a self-assured smirk. It was almost impressive. Hostin doesn't just insult, she crafts her attacks like she's starring in a Tarantino film, sharp, deliberate, and packed with fire. But let's be honest, beneath that composed exterior is a woman who knows she's walking a tightrope. Perhaps that's why her legal jabs have become a daily ritual. At this rate, The View might just evolve into its own legal drama, with Hostin playing both the prosecutor and, potentially, the defendant. Someone grab the popcorn. This is peak daytime television.
The trial in New York, the one he got convicted for, was the greatest fundraising bonanza ever. He was lagging behind Biden, and now he's pulled quite a bit ahead. That trial was the greatest reason people had to send their checks for 5, 10, 25, whatever dollars to Donald Trump. So I was always with you on the one in New York, the hush money trial. I don't think they should have brought that one. It was just always going to look like a case, and people were always just going to look at it that.
This is where the plot takes an unexpected turn. Enter Bill Maher, shockingly stepping up in defense of Trump amid the explosive allegations from Stormy Daniels. And of course, these are the very claims that Sunny Hostin eagerly latched onto during her relentless anti-Trump crusade. But here's the real twist. If Hostin were the sharp prosecutor she portrays herself to be, she would have spotted the glaring inconsistencies in Daniels' statements. This isn't advanced legal theory, it's basic investigative work. Yet, instead of scrutinizing the facts, she went full steam ahead, choosing spectacle over substance. And that's where the power of woke culture comes into play. It doesn't seek truth. It distorts it, blurs reality, and fuels vendettas, dangling them just out of reach like an irresistible prize. Why bother with hard evidence when outrage is a far more powerful currency? After all, in the court of public opinion, drama always sells better than facts.
I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America? What is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused of alleged misconduct by 26 women, found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people?
Bill Maher then turned his attention to Sunny Hostin's anti-Trump rants, dissecting them with the precision of a seasoned comedian who also happens to be a master surgeon. According to Maher, Hostin's nonstop tirades are exactly what pull voters toward Trump, much like moths to a flame. He argued that her dramatic outbursts and constant moralizing not only failed to damage Trump's image, they actually strengthen it, solidifying his base even more than some of his own advisors could. Maher dismissed the legal battles Hostin highlights as nothing more than exaggerated political witch hunts that should never have taken off. How is that even newsworthy? He seemed to suggest with a knowing smirk. In his view, bringing Stormy Daniels' testimonies and similar claims into the spotlight isn't about seeking justice. It's all about scoring minor poly.
Some real fans.
Oh, sure.
But there's a lot of people who voted for him, and that's their little secret. We don't like him either. We just vote for him because the stuff that you guys are doing on your fringe is scarier to us than what he's doing, which is saying a lot. And I'm not quite with them, but I get it.
Only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, you know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, you know, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Did the ultra